It's a major demoralizing loss. And if you're the Celtics, it's like, damn, we knew we were good, but damn, are we really this good? And you're gonna be getting Rob back very soon. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Rob is going to be back very soon.
Oh wow, what's that supposed to mean?
Well, him and I had a talk this morning, and I just put something on.
What?
Rob is going to be back very soon.
Tell me more.
Yeah.
Here's the
John
thing.
thought his leg was
Breaking
coming
news.
off.
Breaking news.
Tim, make a graphic that says Sherrod says Rob is going to be back very soon, so I can put it on
quote
the
unquote
screen.
very soon.
Keep this in mind that the timetable that we had for Rob was 8 to 12 weeks. 8 weeks to the day will be Friday. And Rob, him and I had a conversation today. He could not stop smiling during our conversation. And I asked him, "Are you going to play tonight?" And he's like, "No, not tonight, not tonight." And I said, "Are you going to play? When are you going to play?" And he just could not stop smiling. And the thing he kept going back to is like, we are checking off all the boxes that we want to before I come back, and we've checked off quite a few boxes.
Okay.
And so and plus today things were right. He said things were much more game simulated for him as far as his workout session today. So he's very close. He's very close. And again, if he were to come back on Friday, that would be 8 weeks to the day from when they said that he's going to be out. And it was an 8 to 12 week window. So any day now, we can see Rob Williams back on the floor. And if you're the Celtics, that's a good thing because your defense is finally starting to kind of show signs of figuring out how to play with each other. And now you're going to get the one guy that can take your defense to another level. So this was a good run for the Celtics. And the fact that you've been able to have the best record in the East without your best interior low post cover every mistake you make defensive guy, they're going to be kind of scared.
I can't believe you're doing this to me.
Keep talking, Sherrod. Keep talking.
Well,
say something else like that felt that good for us to hear.
I want more. I want you just to talk.
John thought his leg was coming off. Now he's back.
He's very, I mean, again, Rob is usually a pretty even keeled guy about most stuff, but he could not stop smiling.
Yeah,
could not, and that's not him.
Like, what kind of smile are we talking about?
Excited about the fact that he knew he was close. He knows
I know
he's close.
Something you don't know.
That was I said that, John. I said those exact words to him. Like, you know something that you don't want to say, right? And he said, and he just started smiling.
Maybe.
So he's. Yeah. I mean, if you're the Celtics,
I think I'm crying.
And to that point about the timetable,
John, take a minute. Why don't you just take a minute?
I might be crying.
Let's pause.
Oh my
30
God.
seconds for
It's all right. Go ahead.
For CLNS identification.
We're all right. We'll get to it in a little bit.
You're gonna be okay,
happy
John? You're gonna be okay?
They're happy.
I'm going to be all right. They're happy tears.
To that point on the timetable.
Who was it that said that the other day? Oh, I was reading an article about Brendan Fraser. He had a moment that went viral where he got a standing ovation at a film festival.
Yeah,
and he started crying, and he says, and his quote was, he's like, "I think I was just smiling so much that my eyes started leaking." That was his explanation for the crying. That's kind of what just happened to me over the Rob stuff. I was smiling so much my eyes started leaking.
John can't wait to see Rob throwing him with this group.
No.
And neither can anyone. I mean, it's going to be so interesting.
You know, the weird thing is that the only downside, if you can even call it that, is that Luke finally started to figure out how to be a contributor. Consistently. I mean, it's like literally like he looks like a rotational big man for these guys now, which was something I could not have said 2-3 weeks ago because he just wasn't. He was just a guy that had to. Go ahead.
This is why it worked. Him being that backup option. He had been in the system, been here a couple of years. They developed him to do what they want. And he didn't need 30 minutes a game playing every night like some of these veterans or some of these guys who used to be all-stars on the free agent market. So then when Rob comes back, what's Luke going to do? Take a seat and be fine with it. Like it was the perfect choice for a backup this year, and it's gone pretty well so far. If Rob needs a night off management, he can step right back in there and do some of those things. It was the right choice. And I know Windhorst was talking today about Jakob Poeltl. You're going to give up 1-2 first-round picks for a guy who needs a new contract next year and is this high-priced center. You have a guy in Luke. You remember when you said this about Moses Brown, John? And Moses
Who was talking about Poeltl? As a trade target?
Yeah, he said.
I mean,
He said the Celtics are a suitor there essentially.
Well, they should be because he's outstanding. It's not you're not going to not trade for him because you've got Kornet. With all due respect, that's a.
But how much is Pirtle going to play when Rob's back?
A lot, and also you're not just looking at that. You're looking at an Al Horford.
Rob's not going to come.
You're looking at Al Horford succession plan and Rob insurance. So you're not going to not do it just because this year you feel okay. That's a great move into your future, especially if you're able to re-sign a player like that. So of course you would want to look at that. But what this does is gives you insurance to give guys load management. You can rest Rob on back-to-backs or Al or something, and you can go in there and you're not going to have to play a lineup that's not going to have you be competitive. Because you've seen it now with Kornet and Pritchard being able to slide into roles and do their thing. So yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
Well, no, I mean you kind of nailed it. I believe Sherrod that Rob's probably very a lot closer than we all know to coming back. That doesn't mean he's going to play 30 minutes a game right off the bat. So they're going to ease him back into this thing, and it's probably going to be he's going to start with 12, 15 minutes a game. He's not going to play back-to-backs probably for a long time. And yeah, shout out Kornet for everything that he's done. But at the end of the day, look how good. I mean, don't mess around. Like you're obviously right now considered the best team in the NBA, but things can change quickly. A guy goes down, or you're not as hot as you were to start the season. If a guy like who'd you say it was? Jakob Poeltl, is available. That's something that if for the right price, you'd absolutely consider because it's going to make you surefire number one contender this year. And like John said, you need Al Horford.
That's the question, though, is the price.
Right. That's
It is to an extent.
Wick doesn't care about money anymore.
It's the question to an extent, but you're built to win for the next few years here.
Hags is about to buy a soccer team. These guys they got the money.
No, I'm not talking about money. You can match the contracts. I'm talking picks. You're gonna give up 2 picks potentially for him?
Yeah, you don't draft anymore.
That's true. I'm not worried about picks. Hey, if you can do it for Brogdon, you can do it for White.
You're always trading picks for known commodities. The only bad business they've done recently is burning picks to get out from contracts. That sucks. Those are the ones that hurt you.
You lost Desmond Bane.
Where you lose Bane, but you lost Bane by picking Pritchard. All due respect to Pritchard too. That was a choice they make. You're gonna miss those every once in a while. But burning those picks when they have to just sell them off to get out from bad decisions, those suck.
Well,
trading picks for established players that you can lock in and be part of your core, you'll always do that. You'll roll the dice.
You'll do it, but sometimes you run out of money at some point that way because you don't have the young guys at the cheap contracts like Grant
You need
Williams,
to be
for
cheap
example.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you also it puts a greater emphasis on your scouting department to find those low budget, high
Hausers
guys like Sam Hauser. I mean, he's a great example of how you have filled a need that you've had for a long time, and you didn't have to spend a ton of money. You didn't have to go out and get a Buddy Hield or some of the other guys who have the reputation and a track record of being great shooters. I mean, shit, Sam Hauser, I didn't think played a great game tonight, but you look at his final line. He's got 15 points. He made 5 out of 6 threes.
Plus 35.
Plus 35. The best plus minus on the team, I believe. Yeah.
Best plus minus in the league.
He was all right.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy about him is, we were saying for years, why can't the Celtics find those guys like the Heat and some of these other teams? They just get these undrafted guys, and all of a sudden it's Max Strus and Gabe Binns. The Heat actually had Hauser. I didn't realize that until about a month ago that was the team he was with. Out of the draft. They didn't end up signing him to a 2-way deal. The Celtics did, and the rest is history here. So this is actually, I think, the Heat probably kicking themselves now, saying, "Man, we had Hauser in the house and couldn't hold on to him."
They had expensive Hauser already, so they didn't need him, right?
Yeah, Robinson, right?
Yeah.
There would have been no point in him keeping him.
Yeah, and now Sherrod's article right here. Sherrod.substack.com. You can go get the Sherrod article right there. Subscribe to that situation there and find out all of the quotes. Read all of the quotes from Rob and his and Sherrod's interview with him today. But
Smile
again,
insider.
Dropping a little bit of knowledge.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah,
because a couple of weeks ago, he appears in New York. We were talking about the fact that he was traveling with the team, and at that point, he was dunking. He was running the floor. doing pick and rolls, all the
Hopping
stuff
up off the
and that
bench. He's not wearing a big ass brace on his leg. He looks like just a normal person.
And
in
that was
street clothes.
2 weeks ago almost.
Yeah.
So they said basketball activities in 8 to 12 weeks. If he's doing all of that stuff, he's already back to basketball activities.
Right. And another person on this trip that you guys haven't talked about, I'm pretty sure, is Danilo Gallinari. Nowhere close to where Rob is, obviously, but the fact that he's with the team is a sign that he's definitely progressing. But to me, the story that Rob is as excited about his potential, and I talked to Marcus Smart about that as well, what Rob means, and he touched on how Rob's getting closer, and it's going to just make them an even more formidable foe because they've figured out how to get buckets with the best of them, and now you get your best backline defender back, and your defense is already starting to figure out how to play chemistry-wise together. They got the potential to put together a scary run when he gets back. Scary.
It'll be interesting how they reintegrate him. Does he come off the bench? Do they go back to double big? Obviously, one guard probably gets left out in terms of minutes when everyone's available. That's something that I think's been lurking decision-wise when he does come back, is how they're going to manage the rotation. They can play a lot of different ways on different nights. That's probably how Joe will answer that.
I think you bring him off the bench. I think you bring him off the bench at first because when you start thinking about that second unit where you could potentially have Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams, Derek White. Well, Derek will probably be staying at starting lineup. Him or Grant Williams will be coming off the bench. The way Peyton Pritchard is playing. Now, all of a sudden, you look like a team that can go a legitimate 10 strong at least every night.
And those guys, the way they're attacking the defense there, that bodes really well for like Rob Lobs and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so place of Kornet, yeah.
And think about it, he's going to be playing against chumps, second unit friggin', that's not going to be fair.